And so I'll give you credit for being here. I'll be able to hang around a little bit after class, Tim, if you want. We can play with that. Hey, we made it, guys. Last class. Woo! Hey, Micah.
Hello.
So we're just going to review for the final today, okay? And then right after class at 2:30, I'm going to unhide the final. So you'll be able to start it right here at 2:30. There's a 100-question quiz that you'll get to take, and there's no time limit, and you get 2 attempts, and it's not due till Sunday at midnight.
That's generous.
And it'll show you the wrong ones.
Yeah, if I set it up right. Okay, so trying to help you guys succeed, get a good grade. And then I'm going to go over so you got a 100-point quiz, a 100-question quiz, and it's right here, and I'm just going to start going over the topics in it right here. And then I'm going to show you what you have to code. And I'll show it to you, and I'm going to show you what my solution does. I'm not going to show you the code, but I'm going to show you what your output should look like. Okay? So you should be able to do pretty good on that one. It's not that hard. But we're covering all the concepts that we learned in here. So let me admit everybody. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for a good semester. It's been my pleasure to teach you. I've enjoyed it. Get to meet all of you and learning a little bit about you. And I wish you the best of luck in the rest of your career. Maybe I'll have you again. Who knows? Maybe I'll see you. Maybe I won't. But if I see you, say hi to me. If you see me walking around.
I think you'll C++ me in the fall.
You're going to take C++?
Unless it was just C.
C? Is it 265?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's the one I'm teaching. Okay.
I have a request.
Oh, yeah, sir.
Is there any way you can do it on Monday?
Sunday's that's the last possible day of this semester. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time.
Okay, well.
You'll have plenty
Can't
of time.
join.
Okay, we don't need this. All right. So, I'm just going to throw out like what you need to know, okay? I'm not going to give you, because all these are those same type of questions. I just grabbed them from questions you've already taken. So they're ones like, which one of these is false? And there's like 4 options, right? So I'm not going to give you every option. I'm just going to kind of give you the topic, so you'll kind of know what to study for. So we're starting at the beginning of the semester, right? This is comprehensive. So I guess you'll want to take notes. A lot of questions here. So back to the beginning. Is a computer a single device that performs different types of tasks for its users?
Say that again?
Is a computer a single device? Or is it a bunch of things that make up a computer? Okay. Does the CPU understand instructions written in C, assembly, Python, or binary? CPU. So we're going back to the beginning of class. So this is all going to get up to where we are now at object-oriented. So you might have to remember back when. Remember about secondary storage. What is that used for? Okay.
Secondary what?
Secondary storage. Like, I got one of my buddies, another professor here is going to come over and pick this up from me after class today. So this is an external hard drive, secondary storage. Okay. Does this store something in RAM, or is it for long-term storage?
But what about FAT32, I'm wondering?
That's just a format of a hard drive. It could be NFTS or FAT32, which is an older system. It's just the way it formats the hard drive.
Okay.
Yeah. Is RAM a volatile memory, or is it memory that hangs around and stays there forever? Which of these languages would be referred to as a low-level language? Java, C++, Python, or assembly? Remember, we got high-level languages that look more like English. And Alessandra? The higher the language, the more it looks like English. And the lower the level, the more it looks like gibberish. Karen? There's a coding scheme that contains a set of 128 numeric codes that are used to represent characters. Is that called ENIAC, Unicode, Two's Complement, or ASCII?
128 what?
Numeric codes. The smallest storage location in a computer's memory is known as a byte, a switch, a keter, or a bit. What is the decimal value of this binary number? And I'll just see if you guys remember how we find that. Now this is open to everything. Okay, that's binary, right? Because it's just zeros and ones. So how would I get the decimal out of that? What does this first one represent?
1.
It represents 2 to the 0th power,
Which is 1.
which is 1. If it has a 1 there. This one would represent 2 to the first power, 2 to the second, 2 to the third, 2 to the fourth, 2 to the fifth, and this one would represent 2 to the sixth. Okay? So you just add them up. If there's a 1 there, so 2 to the 0 plus, where's a 1? Plus 2 squared plus, there's a 1 there, 2 cubed plus, oh, I missed one, didn't I? Oh, I screwed this up. There's another 1 there. That's 2 to the 4th. That's 2 to the 5th, 2 to the 6th, 2 to the 7th. Okay, so there's a 1 there, so it's 2 to the 4th, and all the way over here, 2 to the 7th. All right, what's anything to the 0th power?
1.
1. What's 2 squared?
4.
What's 2 cubed? 8. What's 2, just keep doubling these. 2 to the 4th?
16.
Yeah. And 2 to the 7th?
128.
128? Okay. So just add all these up. 5 and 8 is 13, and 16 is 29, and 128, 17, 5, should be 157. I just want you guys to see how to get that. So that's how you convert a binary to a decimal. Comments in Python begin with the pound character, true or false. According to the behavior of integer or floor division, when an integer is divided by an integer, the result will be a float. True or false? integer is divided by an integer. So if I was you guys, I would just open up a terminal in Python and, 1 divided by 3, whatever. That's an integer divided by an integer. Just see what the result is. Is it an integer or a float? Hey. In Python, math expressions are always evaluated from left to right, no matter what the operators are. True or false? You guys remember PEMDAS? Think about that. What's the P in PEMDAS? Parentheses, right? So if you got parentheses, does it still go from left to right? Computer programs typically perform 3 steps. Input is received, some process is performed on the input, and the output is produced. Remember our IPO charts? Input, processing, output, IPO. That's true or false? Which mathematical operator is used to raise 5 to the 2nd power? Is it double star, /, a hat, or a tilde? The power. So if I was you guys, I would definitely open up Python and try all this stuff out while you're taking this. Let me write this over here. What is this going to print here? So just a general thing, we got a print statement. If I want to print out one of the single quotes inside here, what do I surround the whole thing with if I want to print a single quote? You guys remember? If I want that single quote to print out, I need to surround the thing with double quotes, right? Double quotes will get my single. If I want to print double quotes somehow, like that, I surround or enclose the whole thing in singles, right? If I've got both doubles and singles, I do triple doubles. Remember that trick? So just remember that, and you'll be okay. And if you see something that says print this, what's the result? Just type it into Python and print it. See what it does. Okay. If I've got this number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.789. Say that's X. And I want to print, I'll do a formatted print with an F here. And I want to print X dot 2F. What does that do? Dot 2F. Okay, you got to think about. It's going to print. It's going to print 2 decimals after the 2 places, right? And it's going to look at this third number if there is one, and if it's 5 or greater, it's going to round this up. Right? So this is going to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.79. Okay. So just remember those formatting things. Scope refers to a mouthwash, where a program can be executed, how a variable is passed to a module, or the part of a program in which a variable can be accessed. Scope. A blank expression has a value of either true or false. Is it a binary, unconditional, a Boolean, or a class? Value of true or false. The symbols greater than or equal, less than or equal, double equal, not equal, are called what? Oh, sorry, Tim. Are they called logical operators, conditional operators, relational operators, or ternary operators? These ones right here.
Would they be different if used to align something in a print format, or?
That's right, they're different.
So-
Yeah, you're
So
right.
this is for math.
This is for math. This is like saying x is
Logic.
greater than y. Are they relational, logical, conditional, or ternary? Now this would be a conditional expression.
The conditional is like if.
This would be a conditional expression, right? If I said if this is going to be a Boolean expression that's either going to be true or false. But what is this operator? I'll give you a hint. It relates one item to another. Relates one item to another. Think about the word relate. And blank structure tests a condition and then takes one path if the condition is true, or another path if the condition is false. Is that a module definition, single alternative decision, dual alternative decision, or a sequence? Okay, so the eraser's working. So if I say something like if x is greater than y, then we're going to print x or whatever else. We're going to print y. This is single alternative, dual alternative, module definition, or a sequence. What would this be? Single or dual?
Single.
So what's this?
Dual.
It's two options. You can go either way depending on the condition. Okay. We got through 19 questions. 81 to go. And, or, and not are blank operators. Relational, logical, conditional, or ternary. And, or not. Relational, logical, conditional, or ternary. We're going to have time to cover all these, and then I still want to show you what the code you have to write. What would be the answer to this? Hello. What is this operator again? Anybody?
Floor.
Floor? No.
Modulus.
Modulus, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So what does the modulus do?
Gives a remainder of the division.
Remainder of the division. So does 9 go into 43 evenly?
No.
No.
Okay. 9 times 5 is 45, right?
Yeah.
So 9 times 4,
That'd be remainder 7.
36, right? And what's the remainder?
7.
7, okay. So you're going to be asked something like that. Can a decision structure be nested inside another decision structure? True or false? Can I say, if x is greater than y, print x, if x is, x is greater than 100, print yes. Can I do something like this, a nested if statement? True or false? A compound Boolean expression created with the AND operator is true only when both sub-expressions are true. A compound Boolean expression, so if I say,
It's like if and, if
Oh,
x equals 5 and y equals 6.
yeah. So if I say x is 5, y is 6, if x equal 5, and, well, I'm going to put it in lowercase like we would do if we were coding, and y equal 6, this is a compound Boolean expression, okay? This is going to be true or false, and this is going to be true or false. So if we're using and, do both of these have to be true for the whole thing to be true? That's what that question is asking. So you guys remember what we learned about, let's see if you remember. Let's see. Oh, that's the same. How about true or true? True or false? False or false? And let's look at not false, not true. Okay, you guys give me, this is a good thing to review on. True and false.
False.
Right. They both, if there's an and, they both have to be true. True and true?
True.
False and false?
False.
False and true?
False.
False. That's the same as this, just flipped around. True or true?
True.
True or false?
True.
True. If it's an or, you take true. False or false?
False.
Not false?
true.
Not true?
False.
Good. If you understand that, that's going to help you. A while loop repeats infinitely when there is no statement inside the loop body that makes the test condition false. A while loop repeats infinitely when there is no statement inside the loop body that makes the test condition false. Remember an infinite loop? In the for statement, you can only use positive integers as step values. Can we step backwards with for loops? I think we can do this, right? Something like that. Does that look right to you guys? start at 10, go down, minus 2. So that's a true or false. The while loop is known as a pretest loop, which means it tests its condition before performing an iteration. The while loop. So I might say x equals 5 while x is less than or equal to 5, do something. What if this was my whole program right here? What's this line called? The pre-read or priming read. Could also be called a priming read. Okay. And then while this is true, I'm going to do what's in here. Will this while loop ever end? Will this ever be false?
No.
I'm never changing the value of x, right?
Infinite.
It's infinite loop. But if I said x equals x minus 1, right? Or actually b. I'm starting at 5, while x is less, I'd have to add 1 to it. It's not a good test, it's only going to run one time. So it's going to print x because 5 is less than or equal to 5, and then this becomes 6. 6 is not less, so this is going to run one time, right? Because I changed it. So this is the while loop that we added something that changes the value of x, so it's not infinite anymore. And this is a pre-read, and it's a pre-read or a pre-test. So it's going to check this before it goes in. If this is false, it never does the while loop. Okay, let's see. The blank represents a special value that marks the end of a list of values. Is this a sentinel, stop, none of these, or a do while? Special value that marks the end of a list of values. I just mowed my grass and trimmed all my hedges, so I never got to drink any water afterwards. I live in Winter Haven, remember, so got lots of grasses. Okay. A loop that accumulates a total as it reads each number from a series is often said to keep a what? An average, a maximum value, a running total, or none of these? A loop that accumulates a total as it reads each number from a series. Is it keeping an average, a maximum value, a running total, or none? A priming read is placed blank the loop before, inside, below, or very far away from. Priming read placed before, inside, below, or very far away. Designing a program to avoid common errors is called blank. Defensive, detection, direct, or validation. What do computer programmers say about the fact that computers can't tell the difference between good and bad data? Bad data in means bad data out, or garbage in, garbage out. Each element in a two-dimensional array has two subscripts. two-dimensional array. Or list. Okay, so let's write a two-dimensional array. My 2D, we usually start like that, and then we might say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's a 2D array. Okay, so you could think of this as rows and columns. I should have written this like this. It's better. 3, 4, 5. Okay. So how would I access the 1 here? My 2D equals which row is it? The 0th row, and which column is it? 1. So this is the 0th row. This is the first row. Remember, everything starts at 0. This is the 0th column, right? This is the first column. Okay, so with a 2D array, you need 2 subscripts. This is the row, and this is the column. So remember that. To calculate the total of the values in an array, a loop is used with an accumulator variable.
Oh, what is used?
A loop is used with an accumulator variable, true or false. To calculate the total of the values in an array, a loop is used with an accumulator variable, true or false. To swap the contents of 2 variables, a third variable must be used for temporary storage, true or false. Okay, now we're jumping into object-oriented here for a second, or for a little bit here. Given a class named animals and a class variable named ducky, okay, let's write this out. Okay, so we have a class called animals that we've created. Over here somewhere, class, animals, and and we've done some stuff. And then we have a class variable named ducky. So we're going to create a variable, ducky, which references an animal's object. Which is the correct way, using the textbook pseudocode, to create an animal's object? Is it, and we haven't gone over this much, so is it set, this is pseudocode for object-oriented, we didn't really cover this, I'm going to just give you the answer. Is it set animals, or you'll probably figure it out, equals new ducky? This is how we would do it. Here we would say animal ducky equals animals. This is how we would do it. Is it this? Is it set ducky equal new animals? Is it set ducky equal animals, which is almost this, or is it set ducky equal new animals object. Which one do you guys think it is out of these four? I'm going to give you the answer because we didn't cover this. We didn't cover pseudocode. This is Python. Which one of these do you think is the pseudocode for this?
So what means an object?
The bottom one, yeah.
You think it's the bottom one?
Oh.
And you wouldn't be expected to know this because we didn't cover pseudocode for object-oriented programming.
So it's set ducky animals parentheses? Okay. Oops.
It can't be this.
Okay.
So it's this one. If we just say set ducky here equal, and then they use the word new. So just remember it's this one. I forgot when I added this question that we never covered this. Okay, the blank method is automatically called when an object is created. Is it a getter, a constructor, a public, or a private method? What is called when an object is created? Like right here. If I say ducky equals animals, what gets called automatically? A getter, a constructor, public, or private? The procedures that an object performs are known as the object's blank. Addresses, constructors, methods, or fields. The procedures that an object performs are known as the object's addresses, constructors, methods, or fields. The most popular database model is the blank database, in which data is stored in simple tables. Is it a graph database, a hierarchical database, a network database, or a relational database? Which of the following is false? Any computer can directly understand only its own machine language, defined by its hardware design. The most widely used Python implementation is CPython, which is written in the C programming language for performance. It uses a clever mixture of compilation and interpretation to run programs. Interpreter programs developed to execute high-level language programs directly avoid the delay of compilation and run faster than compiled programs, which is false.
What runs faster?
This one is saying interpreter programs run faster. Translator programs called assemblers convert assembly language to machine language. So there's a lot in that question. So just remember that you guys that were here on Tuesday, we compiled a C program and we ran time. I think you might have left. And we timed how much the compiled version took to run, and we timed how much the Python took to run. Which one was faster? Anybody remember? Who was here? Who was here when we ran it?
C, which
Was C,
again?
compiled. It was a compiled, yeah. Remember the naming conventions in Python? What we can name variables? This is a good variable name, right? But could I start one with a number and just say 2D? No, can't start with a number. Can I start with like a $sign? No, you can't start with any special characters. Can I start with an underscore? This is bad. This is bad. That's good. Any letter is fine. My integer, that's fine. So remember the naming conventions.
Were you, underscores are okay to start with?
Mhm.
And is that the only character?
Yeah, that's the only character outside of a letter, uppercase or lowercase letter. Yeah. Is this my int equals 5 and lowercase my int equals 6? Are these the same variables? Is Python case sensitive is what I'm asking.
It is, but aren't those functionally the same?
Oh, yeah, those are not the
They're different, totally
same.
different.
Yeah,
Different. It's case insensitive, case sensitive, sorry. So this is different than that, even though it's because that has a cap and that doesn't.
Okay, I thought it had to be all caps to be the difference I was thinking of.
Mm. Okay, what if I add, so you guys got this one, I'm gonna just give you this answer, it's this one. What if I do this? The string, or the character 7, plus the character 3. What does that result in?
Like 7, 3, like
Is it the number 10? Is it the string 10? Is it the string 73?
yeah. I don't know.
What does this mean when we're dealing with strings? Concatenation. Yeah, so remember that. This is the answer.
If they were integers, it would be indominating, I think.
Let's see. This is we didn't look at this a lot, but you could do this called a chained comparison. We can say 3 is less than y less than or equal to 11. Which value would make this false? 4, 11, 3, or 10? Which would make this expression
Y,
false?
Doing
Right? If we put 4 in here, is 4 greater than 3 and less than or equal to 11? Yeah? How about 11? 11 greater than 3 and is 11 less than or equal to 11?
Yep.
What about 3? Is 3 greater than 3?
No.
No. So that makes it false. Python provides 2 iteration statements, blank and blank. Do while, for each, while, for each, while for, do while for. 2 iteration statements.
Something else.
Yeah. Is it do while for each? While for? Sorry, while for each, while and for, or do while and for? It just provides 2. Do you type Control-C to break out of an infinite loop?
Or unplug your computer.
What would this print here? For counter in range 10, print counter end equals a single space. Erase this other stuff. I know I wrote this small. You guys probably can't see it in the back. What would this print out? What does this end equal space mean? Is it going to print stuff on a line, or is it going to print things and then a space all on the same line?
Space, same line.
Space, okay. And what numbers are the range, if I say range 10?
0 to 9.
0 to 9. Everything starts at 0, remember? And it goes up to 1 minus that. So it's going to go all the way to 9. All right, if I use format, if I do a printed format, a formatted print, sorry, print F, and I have X dot 2F. We looked at this before. And say X is 1, 2, 3.456. Is this going to round to the nearest 10th or 100th or 1,000th? What is this position here?
It's a 10.
That's the 10th, right? That's the 100th. This is the 1,000th.
Oh, to the nearest is what you said?
Yeah.
So I guess.
So dot
1,000.
2F is going to round to what?
Well, the nearest 100th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I confused myself for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, because this 2 is looking at 2 things here. 1, 2. So if this is 5 or greater, it's going to round that up. Okay, we're halfway done.
That's 50.
Wait a minute. Oh, I skipped the page. Okay, I think you know how to do that already. We're just doing the same thing. We're printing. Let's see. Okay, can I call maximum with mixed types? Is there a maximum? I thought it was just max. Maybe it is maximum. Can I call maximum with like 13.5? The word hello and 7. Can I do that? Mixed types. A float, a string, and an integer. So think about that. Just try it and see what happens. Can I do this? Oh, this is, okay, this is creating, it's normally max. Can I do this? Can I compare strings? This is basically true or false. Can I compare strings? Find the maximum string?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because each letter corresponds to an ASCII character number.
The chart, the ASCII chart.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see. Can I do this? If I say range, I think I did range wrong before. Remember when I was saying range? Start at 10 and go down 10 to 0 by negative 2. I think that's the way you do it, instead of colons. So can I do this? Say I want to give the range of 1 million. Can I put commas in here? Or can I, is this true or false? Think about that. Or does this work? Can I put underscores in the place of commas? We covered that at one point. Put underscores in the place of commas. Okay, let's see. Let me erase this. We're getting there, guys. Do you guys want to take a break? Or you want to push through? Push through? Okay. If you need to take a break, just take one. I think I'm just going to push through because I still want to show you the code that you have to write. If I wrote a program or define a function, def, I'm going to define a function called rectangle area. I want to calculate the angle area of a rectangle, and I say width equals 5 and length equals 10, right? And I can say return length times width, right? It's pretty simple, the area of a rectangle. So if I call this and I say x equals rectangle area, and I don't pass it anything, what happens? Does it use these defaults that I've already given it and return 50?
Oh, yeah.
Think about that. These are called default parameters, okay? Soon. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember, we looked at this real quick. There's an ID function. We can say, x equals 5, and then we can say ID of x, and it gives us a number, like 0, 2, 5, 6, or something like that. What is this number? Think about this, ID. Okay? And basically I'm going to tell you, this is the location in memory where this is stored. Can two different variables be stored at the same memory location? Okay, think about that. Lists may store blank data. That is data of many different types. Is that homogeneous, parallel, heterogeneous, or none of the above? Data of many different types. Homogeneous, parallel, heterogeneous, or none of the above? You reference a list element by writing the list name followed by the element's index. That is its position number enclosed in square brackets. A dictionary associates keys with values. Each key maps to a specific value. Multiple keys can have the same value. A dictionary's keys must be mutable, such as strings, numbers, or tuples, and unique, that is, no duplicates. All of the above statements are true. Okay, one of these is false. So think about that. Are a dictionary's keys mutable? Can I change, if I have my dictionary equals, remember dictionaries are like this, 5 colon, hello. This is a simple dictionary. This is the key, right? And this is the value. Is this mutable?
I don't remember.
Are the keys mutable? Think about that. Can I have multiple keys in this dictionary with the same value? Can I have 5 as a key, and then 6 is by, and then can I put 5 in here again? Can I have 2 keys with the same value, or must the keys be unique? Think about that. Okay. This is all string formatting, so make sure you understand string formatting. We've already looked at that. You can format numbers with thousands separators by using a comma.
Within a what? Oh, this is in formatted printing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you put a comma for big numbers? What if I have y equals, let's make it big, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I print y with a comma like that? And will that output 1, 2, 3, comma 4, 5, 6? So check out adding a comma to formatted strings. Make sure you know how to do that.
I missed that one.
You guys remember the triple quoted strings? So we have something like this. This is a line, and then we have another line here. Is another line, and another line, and then, so this is a triple quoted string. Does this keep the new lines that are really in here, or not? So remember this. Remember, review that. The with statement, okay. Remember we had with open. We were opening a file to write to, and we said like accounts.txt. we're gonna write to it, and we said mode equals W. As my file. So we're writing something, right? And then remember when we used with open, did we have to specifically close the file if we used the word with to open it? Did we have to use close my file at the end? That's what this question is. In lists and arrays, so I have a list, my list. Is the first element in this at position 0, position 1, position 2? What's the first position? 0. Right. So remember that. Would this be homogeneous, heterogeneous? Hetero. Because it's got an integer, a character, and then a float. Okay. So this time we would say counts dot write, and then we were writing like 100 space Joe space 0.0 backslash n, like that. So just review this. If I say with open and I start writing, we're opening this as a write. And if this file already exists, does it get appended to or does it get deleted? Remember, try to review that. If I open a file with write, with a mode equal write, and this file already exists, do I write this stuff to the end of it, or does this thing get deleted and I start over? And do I need to close it explicitly? So just review that. Okay, we're getting there. 25 more, guys, and we're done with this part. Okay. If the contents of a file should not be modified, open the file for blank. Reading only, writing only, reading and writing, or none of the above. So if I want to open a file for reading only and I don't want to modify it, what mode should I use? Reading only, writing only. This is writing only. Reading and writing, or none of the above. The JSON module enables you to convert objects to JavaScript object notation text format. This is known as blank the data, serializing, calibrating, registering, or chunking. Remember JSON? So review that, what JSON is. JavaScript object notation. Remember, it looked like it had like little curly braces, and then it might have Joe, and it might have Black, his first and last name, like that. And it might have something like his salary, 13,500, whatever. This would be like this would be JSON, something like this. And JSON double quotes all text. Remember that. The way we get something out, with JSON, we first have to import the JSON module. And then we'll say JSON.dump. Remember dump? And it's going to create accounts.json is the file we're going to call it. And we're going to make it, accounts dot, so we're going to take a dictionary and dump it. So just review the JSON.dump. So there is a .dump file. Okay, now we got 20 more, and then I'll show you what you have to do for coding. Object-oriented questions. Just which of the following are false? Just as houses are built from blueprints, classes are built from objects. Building a new object from even a large class is simple. You typically write one statement. Everything in Python is an object, and all of the above are true. So which is false? Just as houses are built from blueprints, classes are built from objects.
That one's false, 'cause it's the other way around.
Good. Good. Let's see. Which of the following is false? Core technologies of object-oriented programming are classes, objects, inheritance, and polymorphism. You'll use lots of classes created by other people. You can create your own custom classes, and all of the above are true. Most object-oriented programming languages enable you to encapsulate or hide an object's data from the client code. Such data in these languages is said to be blank data. Public, private, protected, or none of the above. Remember we looked at what we call the attributes in object-oriented programming? And those are the fields, and if we named them, they're also called attributes. If we named them with 2 underscores, it'd be like self dot age. That would make this private with 2 underscores. This would be called a private attribute or a field in object-oriented programming. Let's see. A read-only property has blank, a setter and a getter, only a getter, only a setter, neither a setter nor a getter. So if I have a class, car, for example, and I define get year, and this is a method, and it takes self, and I return self.year. Would you call this a getter or a setter? Remember, getters get the data out, setters set something. It even has the name in the title. So this is a getter. So just remember what getters and setters are. Now, if I said something like set year, I would pass it a year, and then I would say self.year equals year that I passed in. So this would be a setter. This is all object-oriented programming. Okay, let's see. Okay, we already looked at Booleans. A program, now we're at 91. A program can be made of only one type of control structure. You cannot combine structures. So control structures are if, then, else, right? Repetition structures are for and while. So can you have more than one type of control structure? Can I have an if, then, and also an if, then, else in the same program? The amount by which a counter variable is incremented in a for loop is known as what?
The amount of what?
The step amount, counter differential, additive index, or the index? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
The amount by which a counter variable is incremented. Is it a step value, step amount, sorry, counter differential, additive index, or index? To blank a variable means to decrease its value. Increment, decrement, initialize, or negate. To decrease. Okay, let me write a little loop here. Okay, for J, this is pseudocode now. J equals 1, 2, 5, step, this is pseudocode. Step 2, display J. And then we have end 4. This is all pseudocode. How many times will this run? Okay, so the first time J's going to be 1. Then we're going to add 2 to it, right? So then J is going to get 2 added to it, then it's going to be 3. Then it's going to be 5, but we're not going to print 5. We always go to 1 minus that, right? To 4. So it should only print out. Okay, my bad. For pseudocode, this is pseudocode, we do include this, okay. Include the end. Okay, so then it's gonna get 5. So it's, how many times is this gonna print out? 3 times. So if you see this question, this is pseudocode for a for statement. You do include this one. So it's going to first be 1, then add 2 to 3, add 2 to that, makes it 5.
Does that mean that you don't include 0?
No, you're telling it where to start in this case.
Telling it where to start?
Yeah.
But is that like the same as index 0, or is that the same as index 1?
No, this is just a for loop that's just, it's just telling you, I want to start at 1. If you said something like for I in range of 5, like that, this starts at 0 and goes to 4. That's what the range does. But here, we're actually telling it. So we could also do range, we could do this. We could say 1, 2, 5, step 2. If we did it this way, this is not pseudocode, it would go 1 and 3. It would not include this one. So just make sure pseudocode includes the 5, Python code doesn't. Let's see, which function could be used to validate an entry for a user's chosen name? That must be between 4 and 12 characters. So what function could I use if I want to you say input the name, and I want to check to see if it's between 4 and 12 characters long. Is it random, is string, length, or to upper? A priming read is needed when the pretest loop is executed, true or false? We looked at that already. Subscripts are used to identify specific elements in an array, true or false, subscripts. If an array named names consists of a list of usernames, then names sub 1 holds the value of the first username in the list, true or false? Name sub 1. An individual element in an array is identified by its value, subscript, integer, or size. Okay, that's all 100 questions. I know you guys are gonna fall asleep. Okay, let me show you what you have to code now. And then I'm going to make all of this available for you in about 25 minutes.